Hello and welcome to Black Crow Gaming, and I'm back with a Space Wolves video. I wanted to talk about the Space Wolves because for two reasons really. I want to talk about building a Beast Slayer list because that's what I've been focusing on, and another one I wanted to show off the awesome Gambit Gaming t-shirt. So I just want to say massive thank you to Gambit Gaming for sponsoring us. They've sent us some awesome t-shirts to wear whilst we're doing our videos, and today I want to take the time to talk to you about building a Space Wolf Beast Slayer list. And here's how to do it. You might find this useful. You might not. You might already know this. You might think, Arron, shut up. Or you might also give some helpful tips and whack it in the chat below, in the comment section, sorry. So let's get to it. So first, let's talk about this new unit that has literally dropped today of recording this. So Wolf Scouts, 105 points for 5 or 210 for 10. I mean, they've got Scout and Infiltrate. They've got Scout 7, which is really tasty. They can really shift. They can carry a haywire mine, which is, again, really nice, getting those mortal wounds in. You can mortal wound the tank with the haywire mine, and then you can throw a grenade and then shoot it. Sorry, excuse me. So the potential to hurt tanks is quite high with this list, especially in Beast Slayer. They've got some decent combat options and ranged options. Like, they've got some real mixture of weapons, plasma pistols, plasma guns. You know, you've got this thunderclap. Thunder! Da, 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 da. And anyway, before I go, and obviously we've got the melee weapons and so on. You've got the wolf in there, the token hunting wolf, who can move ahead of you, which is actually super good, and I'm going to explain why. So that hunting wolf obviously goes 10 inches. You can then essentially use that as a way of ramming this unit into combat, because it goes an extra 3 inches further than your guys. So it's actually really fast, and you do have some good, you got power weapons, you've got the runic stave, you've got combat blades, and the thing is, in Beast Slayer, you know, they're doing pretty good. And with the plasma pistols all over the place, this unit really can do a bit of damage. So I think a unit of 5 could cause absolute mayhem. A unit of 10, I think 210 points for a unit of 10 is a bit spenny, a bit pricey for me. I don't know if I'd want to go there. Some people out there may disagree. So what are their rules? They get +1 to wound if the target has no other units within 6 inches. This is great if your opponent has got something on its natural expansion it does not want you to get to. Lovely. You infiltrate this unit right near it, and you go, I'm going to come and kill that next turn. Because you probably will. If you oath it, run that forward, do lots of attacks, you know the drill, and then jobs are good. And then you've got the hunting hounds rule, so if the dog can have OC if it's within 6 inches of a character, that's less impactful. You've got 5 dudes there with OC1. So does having that dog having an OC really matter? I don't think so. Will I be including this in my list? I think so. I've got a box coming, so I think 1 unit would be is enough. So what are my list objectives when I'm building a list, especially like Beast Slayer? Like, what am I trying to achieve? Space Wolves has quite a selection of units, which means we can adapt to many styles of play. Do you want to stat check build? You know, 30 Terminators will do that pretty good. Do you want to jail your opponent and outscore? So, for example, you could just use the Hunting Wolves and the Fenrisian Wolves to jail, and then you just sit on objectives. Do you want to just do max damage? So you could really lean into that Beast Slayer mentality of just getting lethal, so you can have the big, heavy-hitting tanks, the big, heavy-hitting units, and go for it. Do you want this flexibility of a list? So, you know, a bit of this, a bit of that, stuff that can run off quickly for advance and charge, for example, stuff that can infiltrate, stuff that can do damage, stuff that can hold the lines. You know, do you want a more of an all-comers build? Do you just want to score points flexibly? So what I mean by that is just literally having units that can just score you points. Don't really do a lot else, but they're really good at just getting you points. This is all achievable in Beast Slayer. I've just realised I've put Beast Slayer However, some detachments will enhance certain strategies. So, for example, what I mean by that, Stormlance will really enhance that Wolf Jail aspect. So, if you want your Thunder Wolf Cavalry to really excel, you take Stormlance. So, what are my auto-include units from Space Wolf? So, when I'm building a list, what is it that I go instantly in the datasheet? Thunder Wolf Cavalry, such a great skirmishing units for 115 points. They're fast, they're tough, they've got a lot of wounds, and they do quite a lot of damage. Head Takers and Hunting Hounds. I love Hunting Hounds. They're just so annoying, and that's why I like them. Head Takers, sustained and lethal with Head Takers is just nuts. Not only that, you get precision and depth against your quarry unit, which is also really strong. And that's why I think Head Takers are an auto-conclude, because you can put them in an Impulsor, for example, and just literally go kill the thing you need dead. A Wolf Guard Battle Leader is an auto-include for me. I love that guy. He's just giving sustain, giving reroll ones, and putting him in with Head Takers or other units like Blood Claws. Just makes him really, really impactful. I always have a Blood Claw unit for the advance and charge, because you just want to tie up 10 or 20, whichever's my flavour. Logan Grimnar. His huge Vector makes him worth it, because he's just 5 points more than an Assassin. It does the same job. And, you know, you could bring units in earlier from Strat Reserve Deep Strike, and that is a great piece of tech, because if you really want to reinforce a flank and be like, I'm going to keep this is where your Terminators are landing, and that he brings that in. But there are like huge Alpha Strike potential with this guy, and he can really skew the maths in Beast Slayer. And I really like that. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later in the presentation. So my honourable mentions, and these are like close to auto-include depending on the build. Like Ragnar at Black Mane is just a wrecking ball. Put him with Blood Claws and he just slaps. Arjak Rockfist, built-in fight on death, is just essential with Terminators, and I really like that. Bajorn the Fell-Handed for that like CP gain is really, really, really nice. He is a pretty good, but he's 170 points, so it's kind of sometimes I like struggle to justify him. And maybe Wolfen and Beast Slayer, because obviously you could put a Wolfguard Battle Leader, or you could put a Priest with them, and that does make them very good. However, I think I like other units more. But with the Wolfguard Battle Leader, a unit of 10 of them is very tasty. And the reason I take the Head Takers over the Wolfen is simply because of the Impulsor and Hunting Hound strats. But there is a world where you could take both. They do hit super hard. So what else do I consider when I'm like building a list? I'm like, well, what's the current meta currently? You know, is it tank heavy? Is it unit heavy? Like, what is it? And I'll flex build my list based on what's prominent in the meta. Basically, it gives you a great way of dealing damage from anything, with lethals on monsters, vehicles, characters, and character units. Having the Space Marine arsenal at your disposal really allows you to adjust to the meta, so you can then just flex build, and that's really great. And Space Marines have just got that utility, and being in Space Wolves, it's just great for us. However, there are other detachments that obviously are better and do better, but that is a huge plus for being a Space Marine player. The problem with Beast Slayer, though, is we do lack, obviously, Armour of Content, and I do miss that. So what units do I use to get the best out of the detachment? Well, Beast Slayer is equipped with lots of movement shenanigans. Utilising stratagems from a mobility point of view can make it build very fast. So, you know, reactive moves is single-handedly one of the best stratagems in the game, followed by a Blood Surge. I love it. And with Logan on the table, you can engineer some serious alpha strikes. Think about Inceptors with bolters, unit of 6, 18 shots, sustain 2, possibly lethals, twin linked, AP 1, damage 2, then potentially pick them back up again with that other stratagem that's in our arsenal. And if you want to be cute, you can pin whatever you're shooting if it follows the stratagem criteria. The lack of armor content can mean we are vulnerable. Lack on fight and death makes us vulnerable. But we have lethals everywhere. It means even our scouts punch up. I like to use vehicles such as impulsors and repulsors to make sure my units can activate when I'm ready safely from a vehicle. And plus you get that 3-inch extra dismount. Bloodclaws do synergize very well. Beast Slayer and as does a Wolfguard, battle leaders and head takers. And I think actually like Beast Slayer is as a whole is just a fun detachment to play. Because you want to get in combat, you want to be killy, and you want to do fun things. Yes, we do miss Armor of Contempt. We do miss Fight on Death. And I think that is actually a bigger deal than maybe, maybe we think. But I do really like the Beast Slayer build. And I'm going to do a huge shout out here. So VT member Jord has been performing really well with the Beast Slayer builds. And he's a big advocate with it. He was traditionally Blood Angels. Now he's running some Space Wolves for some flavour, I guess. But he's been doing really well. And I hope that we see some content from him soon regarding this. So big shout out to him. Well done. And also, I just want to make it really, real big point. This is suitable to WTC terrain, UKTC terrain, and GW terrain. I think, obviously, certain builds will perform better depending on the terrain set, but I definitely don't think they're too heavily penalised. Anyway, let me know what you think. I really like the army. I'm really enjoying Space Wolves. I'm absolutely in love with my Space Wolves t-shirt. Thank you very much, Gambit Gaming, and check out their website if you want some more. I've been Arron. Thank you very much for following us on Black Crow Gaming.